Okay, so here's the next question for the problem of the day, that is minimum index of a valid split. Okay, so what this question is saying, okay, let's just understand from this example. Okay, I will explain you through this example. You can read this whole question from the Leetcode or from this. Okay, you can pause it. Okay, so uh, let's just understand from this example what this question is saying. Okay, so in this we have given an array of nums. Okay, and the output is here 2. So basically what we have to do, basically we have to return the index at which a valid split is possible. Okay, so you can see the output is 2, so valid split is possible at 2. Okay, so that's the basically output here. So now the next thing is, what is valid split? Okay, according to the question. So valid split is like, if we see, if we split at 2, that is, let's just understand the question. Okay, not just direct seeing the answer. Okay, so let's just take it. Okay, so okay, so let's just see what is valid split. Okay, so valid split is like splitting this array into two parts. Okay, so you can basically split anytime, like choosing this first index and then choosing all three. Basically what is valid split is that you have to split this array in those two parts in which the majority element. Okay, if we split like here, the 2 is there 2 times, and okay, let's just split it. Okay, okay, so if we split from the 2, that is the output of this. Okay, so how basically this is the output. So if we split it from here, you will see the basically frequency of the 2, that is element is 2 times, and if you see here the right split, here the frequency of the 2 is 1. Okay, so you have to choose a element x. Okay, so you have to choose an element that, like we have chosen x as 2, and in both split, okay, in both split or left and right, the element, the x should be greater than half of the this whole split. Okay, like here the size of the split is 3. Okay, and if you see the element, that is 2 plus 2 4, so the number of 4 is greater than 3. Okay, so basically this is the question. So the element x should be greater than half of the total split. That if you see here also, the size is 1. Okay, split of size is 1 and the element is 2, so the 2 is greater than 1. You can see, so that's the main thing here, the key point is here. Okay, so you have to split like this. If I tell you again, you have to split this array so that you have to choose a x, that is the majority element. Okay, and then you have to split this array in such that the x should be present more than the half of the size of the split. Okay, and both basically in both part, and the x should be equal. Okay, x should be both equal. So if here you have chosen x, that is 2, then here also basically the if 2 is here majority element, so in this part also 2 is between their majority element. So basically you understand the question, what question wants to say and what should be the answer. Okay, so that's the basically we have to return the minimum index of a valid split. So that's why here answer is 2, because if you split at any other position, that is, let's just try. Okay, so if you split at here, let's just understand. So you will see here the split, basically the elements are 1 and 2. Okay, so if you have chosen x as 2, then simply the occurrence of 2 should be greater than basically total size. So if you see 2, the number is once, so it is not greater than the size of 2, that is, it is simply equal. 2 is equals to 2. Okay, so simply size is 2 and the element is also 2, and here also, here will be a valid split, but here will not, left split will not be valid. Okay, so that's the, or you can see any other, so you can see here also, but here no valid split can be possible because 2 is not in this split. Okay, so simply only valid split is this only. Okay, where the conditions are matching. So basically how can basically we can do this question. So main thing here is for the frequency, we have to manage the frequency of the majority element or x. Okay, that we will choose. Okay, so for every split, okay, we have to dynamically basically change the frequency according to the split. Okay, so to do this we can use hash map. Okay, we will use two hash map for two split. Okay, like this is the hash map for first split. Okay, and this is for second split. So what we are going to do, we are going to split the array from start. That is, if I make it smaller and name, and this is just name it as this as index. Okay, so this is index. Okay, it will split. So we will start from first. We will first put all the elements, that is we will see that now split is here -1 and here all the elements will be simply at second. Okay, so first we will store all the element in second, that is second hash map. Okay, so simply 2 ratio 3, because first would be simply 0, and then we will start. Okay, so this index would move, so at first it will split the element in these parts. Okay, so simply what we will do, we will check, not check, but first we will increment the value. That is simply we will remove the frequency from first second map, and we will update the frequency to first map, because this is the first part and this is the second part. So now 1 is in the first part. Okay, so simply what we'll do, we will simply update the value 1 comma 1 ratio 1. That is you know the value, you know the hash map, that is key value pair. So this is the number and this is the frequency of that number. Okay, so simply we will remove this because now it is 0. Then you can, and every time we will check if the valid split is possible. So let's just check. Okay, so now here according to this the x is 1. Okay, and here the x is 2. So simply what we will do, we will multiply the x, that is simply frequency of this x with 2, and we will check if it is greater than the size of the split. So simply size is 1, size will be simply denoted by this index. Okay, so simply that will simply check. Okay, so so size would be simply 1. Okay, so 1 into 2, that is simply, if I write 1 into 2, that is simply 1 is equals to the frequency. Basically if you see the not frequency, the size of the this first split, or you can say map. Okay, so okay, so it is not greater than, basically what we want is greater than, this should be greater than. And you can see for second also. Okay, same thing for second map, we will check for both map. Okay, both should be valid. Okay, so you can see the first is not valid, then it's just not important to check for second, because it should be both valid, then the answer would be written. Okay, then we will simply move to next split, because this is not a value. So then simply we will what we will do, we will simply decrement the frequency of this 2, then we will update the frequency here 2 to 1. Okay, so 2 is now 1. Okay, so simply again we will check for. Okay, then here the now the x is 2. Okay, so simply you can multiply it with 2. Okay, that is simply 4. Okay, no, so basically this frequency is 1. Okay, because frequency we will multiply it with frequency. Okay, so how many times it is occur. Okay, so because we have to check it for half. Okay, so it should be occur more than half. So to check for more than half, we will simply multiply it with frequency, and we check for it basically this length of the split. Okay, so simply it is 2, and if you see the index is at 2. So that basically not index, the total number of size of the split is 2. So this is not also valid. Okay, so this is also equal, not greater. Okay, so simply this will also not valid, so we don't need to check the second split. Okay, then we will move to next. Okay, so here also the frequency become 2, and here the frequency become 1. Okay, so here the frequency is 2, so we will multiply it with 2, so the value will be become 4. And here the sizes indexes is 3. So you can see now it is greater than 4 is greater than 3. Now we can this is the left part of the split. Now we can calculate the right part also. We can simply check. So what we will do, the right split size is 1, so and the frequency of 2, that is 2 into 1 equals to 2 is greater than size is 1. Okay, so greater than, so in both the cases the frequency is greater than the half of the, okay, so this is valid, and this will simply return the index. We will return the index at this position. Okay, so simply it will return the index, that is 2. Okay. So this is how whole working would be, basically how the code will work. So simply time complexity would be big of 1 because we are iterating once in this, and the space complexity will also be big of n. Okay, then because this will both will not contain whole numbers. Okay, simply if you add the both of the space, then simply it will cost big of n. Okay, we can also do this problem in big of without any using Hashmap. Okay, we can simply, what we can do, let's just erase this. So you basically understand this approach. This is also a good approach, but you can also do this in optimal way, that is without using Hashmap. Okay, what I can do, just I will basically explain you the code in Leetcode also. Let's just understand here also first. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to first check. Okay, first we are going to calculate the majority element. Okay, so what we will calculate that what is the majority element, okay, of all these. Okay, so basically you can say which element occurs more in this. Okay, so you can see now the majority elements, that is x, we will first calculate directly x. Okay, x is here 2. Okay, in this whole array, and then we will calculate the frequency of the x, that is x count. Okay, that how many times x is appear. So you can see x is 3. So this will simply take care of our the basically split. Okay, so then we will start from first index. Okay, then we will come here, we will take care of a variable, that is count. Okay, and first it will simply be 0. Okay, so what will count will do, whenever the majority element will come at iteration, it will simply get that we can simply split it. Okay, if x is not, just like if we at first index the x is not there. Okay, so simply 1 is not 2. Okay, it is 1 not 2, so simply we can't make a valid split, so simply we will move further. Okay, then we can't split here, then we will come here, that is index would be at 2, so then we will update the value count. Okay, it will simply count the value of 2 that we have seen till now. Okay, so simply you can see the the first split. Okay, so it is the left, and by this only we can also make the right split. Okay, with this, so simply what we'll do, we will subtract 3 minus 1, that is simply 2. Basically you can say the total number of x. Okay, the total number of x is 3, and we can subtract the now basically current 2, that is simply 1. Okay, we have found till 1. Okay, so simply remaining are only 2. Okay, so basically you can say, if when we come here, that is when we will come here, the split would be simply this. Okay, and by this the total x count, we can calculate the remaining basically number of x present in the right split. Okay, so in this split, that is left split, we can simply count take the count variable, and we can count the value of x, how many x is present. Okay, because according to x the value split is going to be possible. Okay, and by x count, this total frequency, we can simply get the total number of majority element at this. Okay, and we can simply check for every this iteration the condition that we have seen, that is this frequency of, that is if you see here, the frequency is 1. Okay, so the frequency of majority element is x is 1. So simply what we will do, we will multiply it with 2 into 1, that is simply x, that will simply give 2, and it is not greater than the index, that is simply What is index? Index is 2. Okay, and for next part, that is simply x count, we will also check. Okay, then simply we will, this will not equal, then simply we know that the next part will also not equal, then we will move this. Okay, then we will simply, what we'll do, we will calculate again. This time the frequency, the count will be incremented, that is 2, and here the value would be simply 1, because we have encountered 2 x's. Okay, till here. Then we will simply calculate here. That is 2, that is simply get 4, and that is simply greater than 3. Okay, so simply you basically got the approach how basically we are going to do. Okay, and you can also calculate here also. Okay, x count. So let's just move on the code. Okay, so here's the code for the first. Basically we can see the first approach that I have told you. We have taken the 2 maps. Okay, simply we have put all the numbers in the second map, and then we are simply iterating for every or you can say simply we are splitting, and we can simply say decrementing the value from second map and incrementing the value in first map, and then we are simply checking first map into 2. The size, basically frequency of that 2 into 2 is greater than index plus 1, and then for same second map n minus index minus 1, and if it is valid, then simply we will return index. Okay, and at last we can simply return minus 1. Okay, so this is the first approach, and you can simply see second approach. Okay, so in this we have taken this let's just comment out, you will be able to see it. Okay, so you can see we have taken this x first, the first number. Okay, we will simply calculate the x according to this measure. Okay, for what we are basically we are checking, if num is equals to x, then simply we are going to count plus plus. Okay, and if it is not, then else count minus minus. Okay, if it is, then if count becomes 0, then we are simply updating the x with next number, and we are simply again with count equals to 1, incrementing the count. Okay, so this will simply find the majority element. Okay, then we are simply counting the frequency of the majority element, that is x, and then simply we are again updating count equals to 0, and then simply we are looping out and making splits. Okay, so I have told you we will simply, this count will take care of the basically current x till split, and this x count will help in basically take care of the right split. Okay, so basically this count will take care of the left split, and x count will take care of the this, or you can say remaining count. Okay, remaining count will take care of the this right split. Okay, then simply we can check with this condition. Okay, and we can simply return index, and at last we can return minus 1 if it is not there. If it basically this loop gets does not return anything. Okay, so basically you've seen, let's just submit it. Okay, in this we are not using any hash map or any extra space. You can see the it beats 100%. You can see the time complexity. Okay, it is big of n, and space complexity also big of 1. Okay, you can simply, if you want to see the next previous one, then you can simply see previous one also. I just comment out and run this also. Okay, so let's just submit it. You can see. Okay, so okay, basically you can see, but its time complexity is big of n, and space complexity is big of n. Okay, so that's the code.